The wind blows across the dry red dust of the small colony. The sun hangs low and the sky burns orange as the day ends. A man walks alone near the edge of the metal fences. His name is Joran, and he is a fixer, not a great one, but good enough to survive. He lives with his little daughter named May. She is 7 and smiles a lot, but she has learned to be quiet. Too quiet for a child, her Joran carries old tools in a metal box. He walks back to his small home, made from old ship parts. May waits outside. Sitting on a crate, she waves when she sees him. He lifts her in his arms and smiles without joy. Another day gone with no new work, no credits, no hope. They eat something simple: canned protein and recycled water. The room is small with one dim light. May plays with a broken robot toy. Joran watches her in silence, his mind tired from thinking, always thinking how to survive, how to keep her safe. Then, a sound breaks the night, a deep thunder, not from the sky, from the ground. Joran runs out, May follows. Holding his shirt, they look up. A fireball in the sky, falling fast, too fast, a ship breaking through the clouds. It crashes just beyond the rocks, far from the colony, but not too far for him. Joran tells May to stay inside, lock the door, do not open for anyone. She nods and does not cry. She has seen too much already. He grabs a flashlight and his tool belt. He jumps on his old hoverbike. It sputters but moves. The crash site is quiet. The air smells like fire and smoke. Metal burns. Joran moves closer. He sees a ship not like the others, smooth silver, strange shapes and lights. Not human design. He climbs in through a broken side. Dark inside, sparks fly, panels flicker. Then he hears breathing, soft and weak. He finds her, a woman, tall, skin like gold hair, like black fire, eyes closed. She is not from Earth, but she's not fully alien either. She wears armor that is torn, blood on her side. She clutches a small glowing cube. She whispers something. Joran leans closer. She says, "Please do not call anyone. Do not trust anyone, please." Then she passes out. Joran looks around. He hears distant noise. Maybe a scout drone. Maybe worse. He picks her up. She is heavy, but he does not stop. He carries her to the bike, straps her in and drives back fast. The night feels longer now. Shadows move too quickly. He reaches home. May opens the door before he knocks. She sees the woman. Her eyes go wide, but she does not scream. They place her on the floor. Joran checks the wound. He does not understand the biology, but he knows. Blood. He stops the bleeding as best he can. The woman sleeps. Her chest rises slow. Her hand still holds the cube. May asks, "Who is she?" Joran shakes his head. He does not know. He sits beside her all night, watching the door, listening for sounds outside. Colony is quiet, but too quiet. In the morning, the woman opens her eyes, bright silver, sharp like a blade. She says one word, "Run," then she faints again. The sun rises slow and pale over the rusty sky of the colony. Joran sits beside the strange woman, watching her breathe. May brings a blanket and covers her gently, like she is used to danger like this. She does not ask too many questions, just watches with big, curious eyes. The woman sleeps most of the day, her body still and cold like metal. Sometimes she moves slightly, her hand still holding the glowing cube, as if it is a part of her. Joran tries to scan her armor, but the signals are scrambled, blocked by alien tech. He knows she is not from any nearby system. He knows she is trouble, but he also knows she is hurt and alone at night. She wakes up again, her voice low and rough. She asks where she is. Joran answers, "Safe." For now. She looks at him long, like trying to read his soul without speaking. Then she says her name. Arin. She does not thank him. Instead she asks, "Why did you bring me here? Why did you help me?" Joran says he does not know. Maybe because he saw too many die and could not let one more. Maybe because May needs to see someone be saved. Arin looks at May. May smiles. Arin tries to smile back, but her face is made for war, not warmth. Over the next 2 days, Arin cannot walk much. She stays inside, sleeping in short bursts. Joran keeps working on her wound. He uses colony medkits mixed with pieces from crash tech. He does not know her species, but he knows pain, and pain is universal. Arin starts to eat a little. She watches May play with the robot toy. May offers it to her, and Aaron fixes its arm using strange little tools from her armor. May laughs. Aaron smiles again, but it looks like a strange new thing to her. Joran stays alert every hour he checks the colony comms. No one mentions the crash. No one mentions a search. But that makes him more nervous, not lessen. The third night, Aaron wakes up gasping. She clutches her side and whispers in a different language. Joran leans close and asks if she is okay. She shakes her head and says something he does not understand. Then she speaks in English again. They are Kuman. Joran asks who. She says, my people. They will not ask questions. They will not spare anyone who helped May. Horan feels a cold weight in his chest. He looks at May sleeping in the corner with the robot in her arms. Aaron leans forward and takes off a part of her armor. Inside it is a small round device. She presses it and a tiny screen opens. It shows a map of nearby space. A red dot blinks closer. She says, they sent hunters, elite ones. They must not find the cube. If they do, your kind is finished. Joran asks what the cube does. She says it holds the keys to your freedom or your extinction. Joran does not understand all of it, but he understands enough. He walks outside for a moment. The air is cold and dry. The sky full of stars that do not care about him. He thinks about running, taking May, and going far. But there is no far place in space, only distance. No safety. He goes back inside. Aaron sits with May now. She tells a story from her world about a bird made of crystal that sang only once before it died. May listens like it is a dream. Joran listens too and feels something shift inside him. The next morning, Joran brings her ship's broken parts from the crash site. Piece by piece he hides them under old panels and broken crates. Aaron watches him work and says nothing, but something in her eyes says she understands. May helps too. She passes tools and wires. She does not complain. She does not cry. Later that night, Aaron helps Joran cook. She is not good at it, but they laugh quietly when the food tastes like metal. After May sleeps, Aaron looks at Joran and says, you are not what I expected. Joran replies, you are not either. She looks at him a long time, then says, if they come, if I fail, take the cube and run. Promise. Mahoran says no. If they come, we fight. Aaron closes her eyes, not to sleep, but to remember. Outside, the wind picks up again. The sky darkens. A shadow moves across the stars. Something is coming, something fast, something deadly, and they are not ready. The sky above the colony turns darker each night, as if the stars are hiding. Joran feels the tension rising in the air like static before a storm. He tries to act normal for May, but she senses the worry behind his eyes. Aaron walks now, her wound healing faster than human speed, but her silence grows heavier as the days pass. Every night Joran hears her whisper in her sleep, words from another language mixed with pain and memories. Sometimes she wakes up reaching for a weapon that is not there. Joran does not ask what she dreams about because he knows war never leaves you. Spends his mornings scavenging parts from her broken ship, bringing them piece by piece into the hidden room behind his workshop. Aaron helps sort through them. She touches each part with care, like remembering old friends now dead. Joran notices how her hands pause over one piece, a small black box covered in strange symbols. He asks her what it is, but she says it is nothing and hides it under cloth. Joran does not believe her. That night, after everyone sleeps, he sneaks into the room. He lifts the cloth and opens the black box. Inside is a tiny sphere pulsing with dim blue light. The moment he touches it, visions rush into his mind. Sees planets burning. He sees machines digging into Earth's surface. He sees humans in cages. He sees Aaron standing before a giant council screaming in defiance. Then he sees her stealing the cube, running through fire, escaping through space with a ship full of secrets. Joran pulls his hand back, gasping. His head aches, his skin feels cold, but now he knows. Cube is not just information. It is a weapon. It is a map. It is a warning. Aaron enters the room silently. She does not look angry. She only says, now you understand. Aaron nods. He asks why she ran, why she brought this war to his doorstep. Aaron says, because your people will be next, because I could not let them rewrite history again. Because I saw what they did to my world, and I will not watch it happen to yours. Joran looks at the broken ship. He asks if it can fly again. Arin says maybe with the right parts and time, but time is not a friend. The next morning, Joran tells May to stay close. No school, no playing outside, no answering the door. May does not argue. She draws a picture of their family with crayons. She includes Arin in it while May draws. Joran and Arin return to the wreck. They go deeper into the ship past the broken walls and burnt wires. They reach the core where the navigation system is still glowing. Weak Lyran connects her wrist device and downloads the ship's last memory. She shows Joran the path she took, how she escaped the capital, how she crossed forbidden space, how a hunter ship followed her even through asteroid storms. Joran sees a symbol again, the same one that was carved on the black box. He asks what it means. Arin hesitates, then says it is the mark of extinction. It is the flag of those who believe in control through fear. It means they will come and not stop until every planet bows or breaks. Joran breathes deep. He feels the dust in his lungs, the fear in his chest, but also something else, fire. The same fire he felt when his wife died and he had to raise May alone, the fire that says no more running. That night he begins rebuilding the ship's engine. He works while Arin scans nearby signals. He teaches her human tools. She teaches him alien circuits. Together they make progress, but the signals grow stronger. Arin hears a ping in her ear. She looks up, eyes sharp. She says they are Hera. Joran rushes to check the sky. Nothing yet, but they both feel it later. As May sleeps again, curled up with her robot, Arin sits by the door. She holds the cube in her lap. Joran sits beside her. He asks what happens if they take Iteran. Says your world forgets who it is. Your leaders become puppets. Your people become property. Joran clenches his fists. He says, then we don't let them take Iteran. Nods slowly. She places the cube in his hand. It glows brighter now, like it knows it found someone willing to fight. The night passes without sound, but the silence is not peace. It is the breath before the scream. Far above, hidden among stars, a ship watches. Its lights flash red. Its weapons charge. Its hunters wait for the signal. The morning begins with silence, but it is not the silence of peace. It is the silence of watchers hiding behind clouds of metal and fire. Joran wakes before the sun fully rises. His hands sore from work, his eyes heavy with fear, but still open and ready. Arin stands outside near the edge of the fence, her armor now complete. Her wound sealed, her face calm, but her grip on the pulse rifle is tight. May stays inside, drawing pictures of ships and stars and heroes and dreams. Joran loads tools into the cart, but inside the box are not just tools. Now there are wires, charged cells, shield packs, and one device Arin gave him that hums when danger is near. He rides toward the old relay tower with Arin walking beside the hoverbike. They act casual, but both feel the air is too cold and too quiet. Halfway through the canyon, the device screams. Arin shouts, and they both dive as a beam of blue light slams into the dirt where they stood. The rocks explode and the sky cracks open. With fire above them, a hunter drone flies fast and low. Its wings buzz like a swarm, its red eye scanning for heat and movement. Arin rolls behind a boulder and pulls out a metal disc. She throws it high into the air, and it bursts into sparks, blinding the drone for 1 second. Joran uses the moment to climb behind the tower. He plugs in the jammer they built. The machine starts to pulse, sending waves of static through the canyon. Drone shakes midair and crashes against the rocks. Sparks fly and its limbs twist in the dust. Arin walks to it quickly and pulls something from her belt. One shot, and the drone goes quiet. For Vergerin breathes heavy. He asks if more are coming. Arin says yes. This was only the eye. The claws are close behind. They rush back to the colony. The sun is now high and sharp shadows move too fast across the sand. May stands outside the house, her eyes wide. She points up. A ship is coming, sleek black with blue trails. Not massive but deadly, built for landing fast and hunting. Faster. Grabs May and runs inside. Joran follows, locking the door, sealing the windows, activating every shield plate they own. The ship lands with a soft hiss like a snake. 3 figures step out tall, in dark armor, their faces hidden there. Weapons glowing. They walk like ghosts, but every step is a promise of pain. One speaks through a voice amplifier. Give us the traitor, give us the cube. You will be spared. Joran looks at Aaron. She looks at May, then she says no. The attack begins fast and brutal. One of the hunters throws a bomb that sticks to the door. Joran pulls May behind the workbench. The explosion rips part of the wall open. Aaron jumps through the smoke, firing her rifle in bursts. Each shot hits hard, but the hunters have shields. She dodges, left rolls, right slides across the floor, and hits one square in the chest. It falls back, twitching. Joran grabs a metal pipe and swings at the second one. The blow lands, but the hunter turns and punches back. Joran hits the wall but stays up. He throws a shock mine that sticks to the hunter's leg and explodes with a zap. The last hunter reaches May. She screams and throws her toy robot at him. It bounces off his helmet, but distracts him just long enough. Aaron tackles him from behind. They crash into the crates. Aaron rips his helmet off and sees his face. She whispers his name. He was her brother once. Now he serves death. He hisses. You should have stayed dead. She replies, you should have stayed human. They fight hand-to-hand. Blades clash, fists break walls. Blood, both red and silver, hits the ground. Joran crawls to the cube. He holds it in his hand and it glows bright. He feels power inside. Not just energy but memory, courage. A key. He points it at the last hunter. The cube hums. Light shoots from it and wraps the hunter in chains of pure date. Of a fight is over. Aaron stands breathing hard. Her arm is cut. Her heart is heavy. Joran walks to her and helps her stand. May runs and hugs them both outside. The air is quiet again. Smoke rises. The ship sits empty. They won, but the message is clear. This was only the first wave. Real war has not even started. The night comes slow and heavy over the wounded sky while the ground still smokes from the fight. Before Joran sits beside the wall, cleaning a burn across his arm using a cloth soaked in cold water. Aaron stands near the broken door, scanning the horizon with tired eyes and a weapon still warm from battle. May sleeps on the couch, her small hands holding the cube like it is a light in her dream. Inside the house, silence speaks louder than words. Aaron walks to the table and drops a small piece of armor that belonged to one of the hunters. Joran looks at it and then at her, waiting for answers. He is not sure. He wants. Aaron says his name once, low, like a question, like a promise. She sits down across from him and reaches into her suit, pulling out a small device. She places it on the table and a blue light glows between them. It is not a weapon, it is a memory. Images float above the table, a council of tall figures in robes. Aaron standing before them, defiant, the cube in her hand. Her voice sharp, her face without fear. She's accused of betrayal, of stealing knowledge, of protecting a species marked for extinction. Joran sees Earth on a screen marked with a red circle. He sees reports of weakness, of chaos, of division. He sees decisions made by those who never walked its ground. He sees Aaron walking away from it, all burning every bridge to bring one small chance of survival. The light fades. Joran asks why she still stayed after the fight, why she did not run while she could. Aaron does not answer right away. She looks at the wall, then at the couch where May sleeps, then back to him. She says, because I found something here. Something I did not expect, something stronger than war and quieter than ragged. Joran waits. He feels the words coming like a wave held back too long. Aaron says, I need to complete the bond. Joran does not understand. She explains slowly, carefully. Her people believe that when one life is saved by another, their fates are linked, that a bond forms stronger than law, deeper than blood. To complete the bond is to protect each other beyond death. It is sacred, it is rare. It is not always love, but it becomes something close. Joran asks what happens if they do not complete it. Aaron looks down. She says, then the one who is saved loses their claim to honor, and the one who saved becomes marked. Both become hunted forever. Aaron leans back, his hands grip the table. He thinks about May, about the nights with no food, about fixing machines that never stayed fixed. He thinks about Aaron walking through fire to save people she never met. He thinks about waking up and not feeling alone. He asks what. Completing the bond means marriage, she says in human terms, not for paper or ceremony, but for choice. For standing beside each other when the world breaks. Joran laughs once short and bitter. He says, "You came from the stars to propose to a junk mechanic." With dust in his lungs and oil on his hands, Saren smiles the kind of smile that comes only after pain. She says, "I came because I was running. I stayed because you did not." They sit in silence for a long time. Outside, the wind blows soft like the sky is listening. Later, after May is tucked under blankets and the house grows dark, Joran and Aaron sit near the fire pit in the back. The flames crackle as stars blink above them. Aaron removes the last of her outer armor. She wears simple cloth now, her hair tied back, her skin still marked by scars. Joran gives her a cup of warm liquid. She drinks it and looks at him with eyes that no longer belong to a soldier. She says, "If I die, you must take the cube and finish what I started." Joran says, "If you die, I will not run. I will burn their ships and tear down their flags and make them remember why they fear humans." She leans her head on his shoulder. He does not move away. They sit there until the fire fades. By morning, the sky turns red again. New signals appear on the scanner. More ships, bigger ones, not scouts, not hunters. Command vessels. The war is no longer coming. It is here, and they are no longer running. They are standing together, bonded by choice, not by force. The sky no longer hides the threat. It now screams it from above with glowing trails and shadowed shapes that move like blades through the clouds. Joran wakes before sunrise, already sweating from the heat of systems pushed beyond their limit. Shield around the colony hums with uneven rhythm, as if unsure it can survive another day. Arin stands near the map screen, her hands moving across alien symbols. Her face calm, but her eyes darker than before. May eats quietly, sitting in a corner, her robot clutched in one hand, her drawings scattered on the table like forgotten dreams. No one speaks much because every word now feels like a choice too heavy to carry. Aaron says the signal is clear now, not just a scan, not just a warning, it is a claim. The enemy wants the cube, and they know it is Hera. Joran looks at the broken tools, the half-charged batteries, the patched-up drone wreckage. He knows they cannot fight forever, but he also knows what will happen if they give in. He asks Aaron if the ship can fly yet. She shakes her head slowly. Still needs a core booster, still needs time. Time is the one thing they no longer have. Ren walks outside and places a small beacon into the ground. It glows with blue light and spreads a cloak field across their area. It will not last long, but it might delay detection inside the house. Joran pulls out a small box hidden beneath the floor. Inside is a photo of his wife, a rusted wedding ring, a necklace that once held hope and now only memory. He looks at it for a long moment, then places it around May's neck. He kneels and tells her, "No matter what happens, you run. If we tell you, you do not look back, you do not wait, you survive." May does not cry. She just hugs him tight and says, "I love you." More than stars outside, the wind begins to shift again. Not natural wind, engine wind. Something is landing. Joran and Joran step outside to see the edge of the sky burning gold. A cruiser appears, sleek and sharp and silent. It lands far beyond the ridge. But they both know distance means nothing now. Arin holds the cube and says they will send an envoy. They will offer one last chance to surrender. Joran says, "Then we give them a choice too." By midday, a figure walks toward the colony, dressed in ceremonial black armor, tall and cold with silver eyes like glass. He calls himself Commander Nask. He speaks with the voice of the Empire. He says, "Return the cube, return the traitor, and we will erase the record of this place. Refuse and all life here will end." Before the next sunrise, Aaron steps forward and speaks not as a soldier, but as someone who lost everything for truth. She says, "We will not give you what you came for. You do not own this world. You do not own these people. You cannot silence us all, Commander." Nask looks at Joran and asks, "And what do you say, human? Is this your war now?" To Joran says, "No. This is our home, and I do not need to be born for war to fight one." Commander leaves without another word, but they all know what his silence means. As The sun falls. Joran and Aaron prepare the last defense. They wire the perimeter. They place mines built from scrap. They rig the jammer with a feedback pulse that might take down the first wave if they are. Lucky May hides in the underground tunnel with food, a map, and the cube's duplicate shell. She wants to help, but Joran tells her, "You already did. You gave us something to fight for later." As darkness settles, Aaron walks into the room where Joran stands watching the stars. She takes his hand and places something small in it, a thin ring made from parts of her ship. She says, "This is not a vow of peace, it is a vow of fire." Joran smiles, "The kind that knows pain, the kind that chooses love anyway," he says. "Then we burn bright together." A siren rings, the shield flares. They both grab their weapons. On the horizon, shadows rise. The final fight has begun, and there is no turning back now. Stars blink above like eyes watching without mercy as the night swells with tension thicker than smoke. Joran stands at the edge of the ridge holding the rifle. Aaron gave him its weight, both strange and familiar as if forged from his own bones. Aaron stands beside him, her armor glowing softly, her face without fear, only purpose. The air hums with signals, with quiet threats, with the breath of ships waiting just outside vision. Far below, the valley lights up with silent motion. Figures in black armor moving like shadows given form, silent, precise, deadly. Joran whispers to Aaron, asking if they have ever won a fight like this before. She says no, but there is always a first time behind them. May hides beneath layers of rock and signal blockers, holding a decoy cube and a worn photo of her family. She watches the scanner on a small screen, the green dots now too many to count. Joran tightens the grip on his weapon and says for her. Aaron nods and replies, "For all of them." The sky opens with the scream of engines as the first wave arrives. Drones swarm ahead, blinking like stars gone mad. Aaron launches the signal jammer, and it bursts with a sonic wave, sending 2 drones crashing before they can fire. The rest scatter and regroup. They learn fast, but so do the defenders. Joran fires into the swarm, each shot guided by systems he barely understands. But his aim is true. Aaron moves like wind and fire, weaving through cover, her blade slicing one drone in half, her rifle blasting another from the sky. They fight without words, because every second speaks louder. The first hunter lands bigger than the last, armored like a tank, walking like a ghost. It roars without sound and fires a beam that melts stone. Joran dives left, Aaron rolls right. She throws a magnetic charge under its foot. It sticks, it hums, it detonates. The leg breaks, the beast falls. They run back to the next line. Joran triggers the ground trap. Explosives wired from mining equipment blow the ridge. Dust flies, rock rains. Silence returns for a moment. Then the true army comes. They march in rows, each step in sync, each face hidden, each soul replaced by code and orders. Aaron whispers something in her language, a prayer or a curse. She kisses a small charm under her collar. Then she charges. Joran follows. They strike the front line. The clash is brutal. Metal screams, flesh burns, blood mixes red and silver across the dirt. Aaron leaps over an enemy, dodges a blade, fires point blank. Joran shields her flank, using everything from tools to weapons to his bare fists when needed. They fight like one, but numbers grow, waves keep coming. The shield flickers. The house trembles in the tunnel. May sees the red light blinking faster. She knows they will not last. She grabs the real cube from its hidden pocket. She sends a signal to the sky. She hopes someone listens back on the field. Aaron falls. A blast to her side. She stumbles but keeps fighting. Joran screams her name and drags her behind cover. She looks at him and says, "You must go. You must finish this." He says, "Not without you." A sudden blast throws them apart. Joran wakes to smoke and silence. His arm burns, his chest aches, but he stands. He grabs the cube from the ground. He sees the sky shift, a new light. A ship, unknown, unmarked. A message crackles through his earpiece. A voice, human, not colony, not Earth, from the outer ring. They say, "We received your signal. We are not many, but we heard." The new ship fires on the enemy cruiser. Missiles scream. The black wall shatters. The army panics. They did not expect backup. Joran Lifts Aaron, she's alive but fading. He carries her toward the cliff, where the wind now howls with freedom, not death. May runs from the tunnel. She sees them and cries. She reaches them and hugs them both. The remaining enemy retreats. Smoke covers their path. Victory is not clean, but it is realer, and opens her eyes. She smiles, she whispers, "We did not run." Joran holds her hand. May places the ring on her finger again. Above them the stars blink once more. Not in warning, but in witness. They fought, they stood, and they won, not because of strength, but because they refused to break. Because home is not where you are born. Home is where you choose to fight.